Hey, what's going on, friends and family? My name is Skylent. Today we're talking about that new Lord of the Rings MMO that everybody is dying to learn more information about. And no, I'm not just going to regurgitate information. I'm actually going to give you something just a little bit different, a little bit better, a little bit more accurate because, hey, fun fact, it's probably not actually going to be an MMO. So sorry for a little bit of clickbait there, but everybody's doing it, and that's the irony, is that as far as I can tell, there is no information anywhere. There's no word plastered on any website that I found so far that wasn't like, a journalistic site. Man, I don't see the word massively multiplayer online RPG. I don't see that at all. I don't see MMO in anywhere, in any form whatsoever. And now I have two pages up, which is from Athlon Games as well as Layu, which they actually buy and they partner with developers, and so they basically fund the development of games. And then we have Athlon, which I believe is going to be the publisher here, and we don't know the direct developer for this game, which would also kind of probably say a lot about what style of game it's going to be, but we can kind of assume some things. And a lot of people are assuming MMO, and by assuming, I mean, man, I know what's going to get me more clicks. I know, what people are going to be hyped about. But I think a lot of us have become instantly skeptical of its MMO-dom because there's already an MMO that's Lord of the Rings. It's a proper MMORPG. And it kind of doesn't make sense to overshadow it. I mean, if it's a brand new MMO, I mean, really regardless of graphical updates or gameplay mechanics, sequel MMOs don't work. We saw that with EverQuest 2, with a number of other games. PlanetSide 2 actually didn't do that great. I mean, it's still going, but like technically, sequel MMOs aren't really great. You really want to make a game that can exist as a service forever, which is going to be the new plan for this game. So I don't really see how they have these two existing, which led me down the rabbit hole of actually trying to search and see, wait, hold it. Are they really making an MMO? Because doesn't it make sense for it to make, I don't know, maybe like an action RPG or some other style of gameplay that's not technically an MMO, so it's not overshadowed or overshadowing another game in the franchise, or competing really. It could do something totally new. And yeah, guys, I'm looking through this and I don't see the term MMO, so here we go. Instead of just regurgitating too much information, I'm just going to read quickly the little snippets that I think are important. So on the Layu website here for the Athlon Games partners with Middle-earth Enterprises, they're talking about what they want to do with this game, and they specifically don't use the word MMO. So here we go. September 4th, 2018, today, Athlon Games, a global publisher of console and PC games, announced it has signed a long-term licensing agreement with Middle-earth Enterprises to develop and publish a video game based on The Lord of the Rings. Immediately, it just says video game. Athlon Games is working with a partner developer to create an online game set in the world of Middle-earth. They say that, just an online game. At a time long before the events of Lord of the Rings, exploring lands, people and creatures never seen before by fans of the Tolkien universe. Now they say exploring lands, but that really could mean anything. They don't actually mean it's going to be a sandbox exploring game. They just mean that we're going to see stuff and things that are outside of the lore. They're basically going to do their own thing because they're setting it way before the events of any sort of book trilogy or, the movies. It's a singular opportunity to work closely with Middle-earth Enterprises to create a completely new experience for fans of the landmark. See, right there. A completely new experience. So not like the MMO that we've had previously, and not like some of the console games. Something a little bit different. Something maybe in between. Maybe MMO Lite. Something maybe like Warframe. And we're excited about the resurgence of interest in the Lord of the Rings IP. So, yeah. This, along with several other major properties Athlon is working with, will help us to further our goal of creating a AAA cooperative, that's what they say, console and PC experiences that gamers will want to play for years. Now, maybe they just want to do co-op games, maybe this is in reference to more than just the Lord of the Rings thing, but it seems very specifically that they're not saying just massively multiplayer. And they're also saying specifically co-op, so not really PvP or no PvP. And I think that's very strange. Now, there is another time where they do actually say exploration. So we're going to read down here. It says, we're extremely pleased to work with Athlon Games for an immersive game experience, which probably means over-the-shoulder camera. It probably doesn't mean top-down or maybe even first-person. It could be. It could be like a Vermintide experience. Who knows? Exploring, once again, is said again, epic regions in Middle-earth. exploring epic regions. So it could maybe not be technical dungeons that we are going through, but it might be more like Plains of Adalon, actually. More of like these open zones, kind of like Guild Wars, the original specifically. So maybe not, maybe a little bit more expanded. But that doesn't make it an MMO. And then it says Athlon Games will allow millions of Middle-earth fans throughout the world a unique opportunity, which, I mean, I don't think they literally mean millions on a single server. That they just mean like they want a lot of people. It's just like, hey, investors and things, millions of people go to play our games, boys. That's what they mean. A unique opportunity for fellowship, another keyword, and epic exploration. But again, that doesn't mean that it's going to be massively multiplayer. There are tons of very big like sandbox games that aren't MMOs. So, this is kind of weird. So I just wanted to say this, looking at this, looking at all the words here, it really seems like specific. It's like, hey, we want to make cooperative games. Also, they keep mentioning console and PC, so it's maybe going to be cross-platform, or it's going to just be on both. Are all platforms possibly, which is something that Warframe did. And basically what I'm getting at here, guys, is I think this game is going to maybe be like, probably like Destiny, actually. It's probably going to be a Lord of the Rings Destiny-like game, which I debate you could call an MMO light, which almost doesn't make sense. But basically, it might have a more open instance versus linear dungeons, though it's probably going to have tons of linear dungeons. It's probably going to have more open instances with events, dailies and things like that, which they specifically say they want. They want this game to be as a service. They want to have gamers playing every day, week, month, every year. They want you in the game. So they're probably going to do that. Probably going to be like a drop in, drop out kind of persistent, areas, but then focus on those, the group party play with the dungeons, which I wouldn't doubt if they procedurally generate at this point. And it's probably going to be more of an action game, just like Destiny was, or Warframe, probably over the shoulder or first person even. And debatably, they actually, let's see, Leo Entertainment actually owns a little bit of some people that made shooters, the multiplayer components of Gears of War, and some other shooters. So I wouldn't doubt if this is much more of an action and online type of game than we're used to seeing with Lord of the Rings games, which are more slow paced. Even their action RPGs, or even like the PvP games, which were really cool. I remember this like Battlefront-ish sort of like Lord of the Rings game was really neat. Even those games like were more or less kind of sticky and a little bit slower. Now that there is like some single player action RPGs that are hella actiony, Shadow of Mordor, stuff like that. But I think this is going to, like, the idea that I have for this game is that it's going to be basically Warframe or Destiny, but set in Lord of the Rings kind of setting. And probably more on the Destiny side, which maybe you could call, is it an MMO or not? Debatable, but not really in my opinion. But I just think that everyone's just shouting out that this is going to be an MMO. It feels a little bit misleading. Because we don't really have that much information, and every information that we have so far seems to be skirting around calling it an MMO, and really seems to be focusing on, hey, Warframe did real good, like, let's do a game that's just like Warframe in a different setting. And so that's what I want to talk about for the rest of the video, is going to be the monetization. Now, I actually recently played a game called Survived By, which is published by Digital Extremes, and that game is basically Realm of the Mad God, except with crafting timers and a lot of other microtransaction bullshit that directly inhibits me from enjoying the game. Can you imagine a game that's all about getting new gear, new loot, and going back out and, just a really fast-paced, very light game, and then you just slap somebody up with, crafting timers. So it's like, okay, you gotta wait 20 minutes. Yeah, you gotta wait in-game, you gotta wait here 20 minutes. I know you want to get back into that dungeon, I know you want to get back into the bullet hell, but wait 20 minutes. Or you could spend some money, if you want to do that. I think that that's probably going to happen here. It's going to be just like Warframe, and whether you like that or not, I think a lot of people don't like it, but people who are addicted, they're fine. They're like, it's okay, I'm addicted, whatever. I have thousands of hours in this game. Well, yeah, you have thousands of hours because they gate the content with, crafting timers and stuff. But regardless, I think it's going to be a very RNG heavy game. It's probably going to be filled with crafting timers. It's going to be filled with a lot of microtransaction bullshittery. But I think that, they are working very closely with the Western mindset in mind. They say that over and over and over again, basically saying it's not going to be technically pay to win, but we're going to give the developers and publishers the tools needed so that they can basically they're going to squeeze the lemon, man. So I think this game is probably going to be a loot box itself. probably going to have a lot of randomization with dungeons and creatures and bosses. It's going to be a grind. I definitely think so. Now, that seems like a huge assumption, but that's going to be looking at the keywords that they're really shouting out here. And these sort of, these websites that they put up here and the sites and the publishing that they have so far just seems very investor-y. It just seems very commercially. It doesn't really seem like it's really lingo for the average consumer. And whenever we get closer, we're going to get more of that colorful lingo for the consumer, and we'll probably be able to guess a little bit more what the game's about. But I think it's very telling, the words that they've said so far on the website, which a lot of people are glossing over. They'll just read the website and be like, huh, that sounds like an MMO. Yeah, guys, MMO, let's get hype as fuck. I don't think so. I think it's going to be definitely, first and foremost, a service. You know, a service and then a game that is a service. And then it's going to be a beloved franchise that we all get addicted to. So, yeah, that's going to be my thoughts and feelings. What do you guys think of this new Warframe, like Lord of the Rings game that's coming out? I'm not going to call it an MMO. Until I see it, I don't think so. At most, it's going to be like, I don't know, Neverwinter, Destiny, Warframe, games that aren't truly massive worlds or anything like that. It can still focus on exploring. It can still focus on a lot of discovery features, which could mean, procedurally generated dungeons with a lot of traps and mystery and secrets to be found in those. It could have more open areas. It can still do that, and I think that would be awesome. I'm not saying that's not a bad thing. It's cool, man. I think that would be really interesting, because a lot of these action RPGs, you just run and done, and you just go through it. You just hack and slash, and it's a little bit easy. There's not any like trapping. There's not really any of that kind of, I guess, board RPGs. Like the board game RPGs, pen and paper RPGs. You don't have any of those kind of statistical stuffs and things. You don't really have any of those things. They take a little bit more thought, and you got to move a little bit slower pace. But then combine that with action. I think that would be pretty cool. We barely got that in stuff like Guild Wars 2, barely got that in a few other games. Dungeons & Dragons Online kind of had that, so I think it'd be pretty cool. Give us something that's a little bit more actiony, but at the same time still dives into more cooperative gameplay, disarming traps and things like that, and looking for secrets and having different, very unique roles and archetypes between the different players that really force cooperation. And I think we can have a really awesome online action RPG or MMO-like experience that is very unique, which is going to be different from Warframe and Destiny, which are just run and gun, shoot and loot. I think it's going to be cool, but I don't think it's going to be an MMO. That's my thoughts and feelings, guys. I only make videos if I can say something different that nobody else has said, and I just said it. If you guys appreciate that, peel some eyeballs on the Patreon, like, subscribe, and all that good YouTuber stuff. Absolutely, guys. I try not to bullshit here. A lot of people just like to, feed the hype machine. MMOs! But you know what? Here, as somebody who makes a lot of MMO content, I'm kind of fed up with that. I'm tired of shills, so here we are. If you are too, hey, stick around. Much love, guys. Keep the hype alive. My name's Skylent. That's funny. I say that I really hate the circle jerk of hype, but that's my slogan, man. Keep the hype alive. My name's Skylent, and I'll see you again next time.